Yair, what has this past month been like for you after everything that went down in Mexico City?
It's been awesome. I get to know myself even more. Every time I feel like in this sport, you get to know yourself more and more. And this time wasn't the exception. The first week was really, really hard for me due to a lot of questions, a lot of things that were going into my head after what it happens. But I got into the realization that it is what it is. You can do nothing about it. It's the past. So now we're here and ready to perform this Friday.
What were those things that were running through your head?
Just basically, I wanted to know exactly what happened because the whole situation was really, really weird for me. I'm one of those guys that I really like to go deep into things, and I really like to figure out things. And I went and watched a lot of interviews of him. I went watched the fight several times, and I look at the body language. I look at every single aspect of everything, and I thought that what I'm saying is right, and I take that.
People are calling it the eye poke seen around the world. What was your perspective of what happened in that moment?
I have seen a lot worse. I have seen a lot worse than that, and people is willing to keep on fighting, or they at least try. Their body language shows they want to fight, and this time it wasn't that. Probably for people in the TV, they can't understand what was going on in there, but for fans in Mexico City, it was more than 13,000 people watching, and before I say anything, before I did anything, they were throwing stuff at him, because everybody saw the same, and it is what it is. As I'm telling you, he probably he probably was hurt, he probably wasn't, but what it happened, it happened. So there's nothing that I can do about it. But come here this Friday and perform. That's the only thing that I can do.
What do you think? Do you think he really was hurt?
I don't really think that, but I still give the benefit of the doubt. But what I think from my perspective and what I felt and what I have seen before, he wasn't. I think the situation overwhelmed him a little bit because like the whole people was like, mm, no, basically all the people was against him, literally. The whole crowd was against him, throwing shit at him, screaming stuff, and he was saying that he was Mexican and this and that. And whenever he was inside the cage and he realized that he wasn't, you know, in front of the people doesn't Mexican people doesn't like that. I've been 6 years in the United States. It's like I come here 6 years and now I'm saying that I'm American. That's not true. Even if I love this country because it gave me the opportunity to work, perform, and shine. But it's not the case. Even if I become a citizen or whatever, I cannot say that. He's not, and Mexican people didn't like that, so they showed that in the fight, and I think he didn't like it. And as soon as he closed his eyes, he realized where he was, and the situation overwhelmed him. It's not like he's afraid of me or anything like that because he's a fighter. He will fight anyone. I have seen him fight before. He's a tough opponent. I just think he used the rules properly with a lot of expertise, and he used it to get away out of there as safe as possible, as soon as possible, to get the paycheck. And the only one who was hurt, really hurt, was me and my people. That's the point of
So
this.
those feelings of being hurt, are they carrying into this week, this fight week, leading up to this fight?
Not really. After talking to my friends and family and all the people around me, and like just like 2% of the people thought that it was my fault. Nobody goes into a fight trying to do something like that, especially in front of your people. And they were like, "Hey, shit happens." I think he was just he didn't want it to fight, and he used that as an opportunity. And it's the same that I'm thinking. As I'm telling you, body language show in the fight, and he wasn't even trying to get back into the fight. I don't think it's correct for somebody to go in there whenever they're hurt, but I think it's the doctor's decision. Mm, Sometimes it's your decision, but if you're a fighter, if you're a tough guy, you're always trying to go in there again, no matter how you feel. You see Joanna Jetrich, her foot was hurt, like really bad, broken, or I don't know. He was still fighting. I have had the same. I have had an eye, completely blocked, and I was still able to continue or saying I want to continue, but the doctor said no. And this time, if you look at the films, he wasn't even trying. He was like, no, no, he got me good. He got me good. And no, no, his body language wasn't just showing that he wanted to get out of there. I understand. Fighting in Mexico City, especially 5 rounds, is super, super tough, super hard, and with all the crowd against you and all that, I mean, I kind of understand. But we're here to fight. That doesn't have to be an issue or anything like that. As I'm telling you, this is just my perspective. People can think whatever they want to think. I was there first row, and I saw it firsthand. So you know, it is what it is, and I take that.
So he's saying now the fight's back on his soil, and he's saying that a win in this fight won't matter unless you literally die. What's your take on him saying something like that?
I'll say in Spanish, so my Mexican people can understand. De lengua me como un taco, de ojo ya me comí uno. So that means basically that he can say whatever he wants. It doesn't matter. He's just talking. And at the end of the day, we're gonna be inside of a cage. We're gonna be fighting, and none of this is gonna matter. Just the fact that we're gonna be fighting. So he can say basically whatever he wants, and I don't wish that, not even to my worst enemies, to die in a fight. Uh, if he wants to do that, then part of him, not of me, is what he has inside of him. I wish him well. I wish him blessings to him and his family. I don't want to cause him any trouble after this. I think he already has a lot of things going on his head, and the only one who's battling against him is him, not me. I'm doing my shit by my own. I have my own battles to deal with, and if he feels that way, then I'm not worried about it.
So you've already talked about the emotional journey you've had over the past month. Physically, what have been the challenges and now having to turn around, continue camp for a month, and then cut weight again so soon after you just did a month ago?
This weight cut has been a lot easier than the last one, especially because I was working with a guy, Leonardo, who was helping me out with my diet, and we didn't know each other. So the last camp was kind of on and off, and I was trying to get adjusted to that. But this camp, now we know each other even more. So this camp has been easier for me, and especially because I'm not fighting in front of my people with all that pressure. I'm not fighting 5 rounds. I'm fighting 3 rounds hill level, and I don't have the pressure to be the main event or anything like that. And I just feel more confident this time because as I can see, he's just out of his mind. And I like that. I like people whenever they're really, really aggressive, because that you show me then he's not focused on the fight. That's it.
All right, Yair, good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.